When you've been to as many rallies as I have, you get used to hearing things you don't encounter in everyday life, like, go to hell and Klepper's a bitch. But lately, the crowds have been coalescing around one particular idea that nobody wants to hear.
Civil War?
Civil War.
Civil War.
Civil War.
Civil War.
The Civil War, our country's bitter attempt at divorce that ended with mom and dad back together in a state of constant resentment. 43% of Americans think it's very likely there's a civil war in the next decade.
Okay, I'm going to be perfectly straight up and honest. It's going to happen much sooner than that.
How soon? Because I have an Airbnb rented in the Outer Banks. But it turns out a lot of Americans think this way. And not just your uncle who has been hoarding weapons and Vienna sausages in his basement bunker. Even sitting members of Congress like January 6th committee member Adam Kinzinger. How close are we to another civil war?
I think we're closer than we'd like to think. And I used to be afraid to talk about it. Now I think it's important for us to talk about it.
To talk about a civil war?
Yeah, because I think we have to be aware of where we're at. I don't think it's going to be north and south with large marching armies. You know, if I live in Illinois, there's going to be Republicans and Democrats in Illinois. I do think it could get violent easily.
I mean, that's scary.
It is scary.
If a sitting representative like Kinzinger thinks a second civil war is possible, it's something we need to take seriously. So I decided to gather Americans in one of our most sacred traditions of civic unity, the corporate focus group, bringing together conservatives and liberals in Purple, Arizona, who all think civil war is a real possibility. The Civil War is tomorrow. What is the skill set you bring to the battlefield?
Well, I'm good with a gun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. James?
I have survival skills. I was in the military. I know how to shoot a weapon, hand-to-hand combat if I have to. I could stick you with a knife and not, cry about it.
We're laughing about sticking people with a knife, but okay. Lansing, what skills?
Leadership.
Leadership?
Yeah, I just feel there's going to need to be some leaders.
Bo, what skills do you have?
Critical thinking?
Jesus. For all of the liberals here, we have a leader and a critical thinker. This is why the blue side is But if America was going to be divided in a civil war, where would the modern-day Mason-Dixon line fall? It was time for a state-by-state fantasy draft. Well, nightmare draft. We've terraformed the states that have been red and blue to kind of create one land mass. Who sees themselves as conservative, part of the red map here? Are these the states you would want?
Oh, I much prefer the red states.
What breaks your heart? What are you going to miss?
Well, Arizona, isn't that supposed to be a red state, though?
Yeah, let's say we give you Arizona. Where do you want to travel to?
Well, I love California, but it's turned into such a shithole.
Let's be fair. As a red state guy, the blue state has the best food.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Bo, what would you miss?
Not a ton.
As a liberal, you're feeling pretty good about the states you get.
Honestly, I feel all right. We got Hawaii.
You do have Hawaii. James, what are you missing? You're going to be in this red conglomerate,
Well, the
right?
family's from back east in Ohio, so yeah, I mean, that would be...
You'd miss Ohio?
I wouldn't trade Cleveland for anything.
I'd trade Texas for California so I can go to San Diego.
Okay. Any other trades? Texas for California? Blue side, would you allow that trade?
I'll take Austin for Cleveland, but I don't need all of Texas.
We'll do an Austin for Cleveland?
I don't want Cleveland. He's in Cleveland. I want San Diego.
What will you give up for San Diego?
I would give up Florida.
No thanks.
There's no takers on Florida.
No.
Okay, so I guess the ocean can have Florida, which is helpful because it will probably take it anyway. And now that we have our newly divided states of America, we get to draft some new constitutions. If there is a new America, you're going to need new laws. Are there any laws you would want to change?
Get rid of the petty ones. I mean, there's lots of petty laws out there. I mean, if you pee in public, really going to be in the sex crime registry now because you peed in public? It's stupid. It's a crack in the system.
That's the first law that comes to head?
It's it's the petty laws. You get put in the federal sex crimes registry if you take a leak outside. It's just pretty dumb. That's just an example.
We just talked about a civil war tearing this country in two. You finally get your way.
Well,
And the first law that jumps to mind is peeing in public. Does your side not have toilets? With the vision of the new Confederacy already collapsing under the burden of sewage infrastructure, I thought it was time to cut to the chase and ask the biggest question of all. Which side wins?
We all lose.
We all lose, yeah. There's no winning there.
What if one side loses and then refuses to concede? Well, I don't know if I feel any better about the future of America, but for now, at least we still have elections.